Start. I would like to congratulate the Finance Minister for the very good budget that he has presented to us. As far as I have known, this is the only budget that was presented without any additional taxes being imposed on us, particularly at a time when there is emergency and when there is a big influx of refugees coming over from Pakistan. He must be congratulated for having managed to present a budget like this without any additional taxation. Though it is true that there are no additional taxes imposed, quite a number of members have criticized the budget and the proposals that have been presented to us. It is natural because this is the only time when members can criticize the policies and the actions of the government. Anything can be taken up and discussed, and the whole administration of the government can be criticized at the time of the budget discussion. But although Mr. Krishna Machari is so clever as to have managed to present such a budget, he feels irritated over any criticism that is made against him or the government. That is not necessary. It is natural and it is the duty of the members to place before the House and before the government all their grievances and also give the necessary suggestions to the government to improve the administration and to remove the defects, if any. So, it is really not necessary that any member of the government should feel irritated. They are in a privileged position. They are in a position to rectify any mistake that may be there. So they must take this criticism in a sporting way and consider it an opportunity for them to know the mind of the public and welcome such a criticism. Now, for any country, the basic necessities are food, clothing, and shelter. The main criticism during this discussion was that some of the taxes that were imposed last time were not withdrawn. Generally, such a thing is not done. It is true that even ordinary people, the poorer sections of the community, have to pay heavily by way of indirect taxes, and it is quite a hardship on them. But the finance minister's defense was that even if these indirect taxes were withdrawn, not much benefit would go to the public because the business people would appropriate them in the form of profits and in many other ways. We are willing to pay any number of taxes because, after all, people will have to pay to the government to carry on the administration and to face any problem that the country has to face. But the rise in prices is something that is really making the people nervous. It is almost killing the people. The taxes do not matter. It is only once a year that the taxes have to be paid, but the high prices for the various articles have to be paid every hour, almost in the day, and that is what people really mind. Something has to be done about it. Some sort of reply was given, but it was not convincing. We are not clear in our mind as to what exactly the government intends to do to bring down the prices. This is the most important thing, and this is the only thing that a greater section of the people is interested in. They would really be happy if something is done about it. The next thing I said was clothing. Even though so many textile mills are coming into existence and huge profits are being made by the mill owners, the price of cloth is still high. More than all this is the problem of shelter. We have seen during this cold weather how many people in Delhi died for want of shelter. They had to stay on the pavement. It is a disgraceful thing. It is a shameful thing that we have not been able to provide some sort of a minimum shelter, at least for everybody in our country. The corporations of the big cities must be compelled by the union government to build at least some sort of kucha dwellings where these people can go and sleep at night. Some cheap structures can be put up. We find from the papers that the government are thinking of providing loans for building houses or for purchase of land, for construction of buildings and all that. But where is land available? They ask fabulous prices for land, particularly in Delhi, Bombay, and other big cities. Some solution has to be thought of to eliminate this kind of hardship. The next thing is education. I am very glad to say that the present education minister has taken up his work very seriously in all earnestness and is trying to bring about a lot of changes for the better. In many states, they have introduced compulsory primary education and elementary education, and they have also made it free for girls without having to pay any fees. They can study up to high school. Full stop. Over.